Can you hear me? Good morning. The dragon has woken. The dragon has woken. And the dragon will begin shortly. Now, this is what you don't understand, Jane. And for all of you people who are opposed to R. Kelly supporters, you don't understand that the dragon knows her shit. And if I come on your channel and you offer R. Kelly supporters on your channel, you may want to mean what you say. You may want to mean what it is you say. Don't invite us on your channel if you don't mean what you say. If you don't like what the dragon has to say when she come on your channel, then don't invite her. Because I told you a lot of times human trafficking starts at home. But Miss Plain Jane thinks that the dragon don't know her shit. Because I'm an R. Kelly supporter. The Miss Plain Jane, the plainest Jane, is upset because the dragon read her on her own platform. She kept kicking me off as the lead attorney. And she kept muting me. And Ocove was there and telling people how big I am. And yes, I'm a big, fine motherfucker. And I'm here, plain as Jane. I am here. You wanted to know about my statistics. You wanted to know about where did I get my statistics? Well, here go a new one. Here go a new statistics for you. And its family members are involved nearly in half of trafficking cases. Now, I don't know who you thought you were talking to. I don't know if you ever even heard of SPITTINFIRE. But I'm going to tell you today, we have just gotten acquainted. And I wish it was under better circumstances, but just like the rest of the opposition, you can't handle the dragon. Many can't. So what I would tell you is that a lot of the time human trafficking starts at home. A lot. I didn't say all. You said, well, give me some statistics on it. And I told you I was in the bed. You want to give me some statistics? How did you give me some statistics on it? You were upset because I told you the truth on your own platform. I told you that there are kids out here fucking. You didn't want to hear that shit that I was talking because you couldn't handle it. But you have just gotten acquainted with me. And now that you have, welcome. And your subs can come as well. Now, what I would tell you is this. You mad because I said that most of the people are damaged because they have been victims of themselves, and that is why. And that how is it that you can hear some inconsistencies in on the stand And you want to sit up there and justify why and how to correct that inconsistencies, as opposed to looking and being optimistic that maybe you were wrong about this man being guilty. Well, I'm here to tell you. Anytime you got to sit up there and rehearse the truth, then that's not the truth. Anytime you got to sit up here and say, well, they should have did this and maybe the prosecutor should have worked with them more, then it ain't the truth. Because the truth stands alone, young lady. The truth don't need no help. But you seem to think that it does. And I'm here to tell you that if it was the truth that they were talking about on the stand, particularly the mother, she wouldn't have got trapped up in all her damn testimony and her stories. But you ain't want to hear that from the dragon. Because I told you a lot of times trafficking starts at home. If they took money, and this is where she got mad at the dragon. This is where it took a turn for the worse over there on the Plainest Jane. It took a turn on the worst because of the simple fact is, I said, well, if the government is paying and giving her Section 8 for her testimony here today, and they said R. Kelly gave them money to say it wasn't them, that is the same thing. She goes on and tell me, do I know how witness protection works? Well, it don't work in no damn Section 8, but go ahead. She want to tell me that's how they do witness protection, Section 8. That's how they do. Well, I told her they got the U.S. Marshal for that. If she thought that her ass was in that damn danger. What is Section 8 in her apartment going to do to protect her and her son without having armed forces outside her damn door? That don't make no damn sense on no shape, form, or planet. So she kept kicking spitting fire off her channel. And I'm used to it because y'all know I am. And she kept putting me backstage and kicking me off, telling her people she won't let me talk. And she talk about human trafficking, starts at home, give me some statistics. Well, I'm going to give it to her again. I'm going to show your ass more than nearly half of trafficking starts. And it's rising. It's rising. And I can email it to you. Then I told her that about Azriel's mama pretending to be her. She got hot as hell and kicked my ass backstage again. You won't let me talk. You gonna let me talk. It's your platform. I can't stop you from talking, but if you go invite somebody on your platform, you would think you would give them the floor. But you wasn't ready for this heat that I'm going to give you because I'm the dragon. And I don't give a damn about all the people over there calling me big and everything else. I'm not just big in size, Miss Plainest Jane, as your people think. I'm big in every goddamn thing I do. Know this, believe this, and trust this. I don't sit up there, bow down to nobody. I don't give a damn if they got 1 million subscribers and I got one. Everything about that one will be just as big as they million. You best to understand it, believe it, and trust it. Because here, I will tell you what it is. And I read you down. You can't get you. This ain't no match for you, girl, woman, young lady, whatever you prefer yourself. I would like to think as a woman. But women are able to talk to each other. You invited R. Kelly supporter, and I took the damn link. And you couldn't handle the heat. Well, as you see, this is the fire. This is the home of the dragon, and welcome to the fire flames. Because that's what I do. Then you told me to take a breath. I said, I'm taking a breath. I always take a breath. I have asthma. Well, good. You need to take I do. But your blood pressure was through the roof. You yelling. I told you my volume is all the way up and I couldn't hear. Your volume was all the way down. However, and there is a however in that sentence. R. Kelly is an innocent man that is incarcerated for damaged individuals that putting the bullshit out that you putting out here on the internet. You don't just give birth and talk about some victims. Your victims is naked on the internet. Your victims is all writing books out here. For their asses to sit up there and need all this witness protection. They all James is writing books deals out here. They want documentaries out here. Come on now. Let's talk about why they need some witness protection. Not off my goddamn federal taxes, maybe off of yours. Maybe off of yours. Everybody wake the fuck up. The dragon is awakened. So, you sat up here and act as if I don't know what I'm talking about because you are part of the Me Too movement. You a liberal-minded woman, scorned and damaged. I can hear it all in your voice, and I'm here to tell you to give you some strength and take that back so you can be optimistic of your black men. You say that he did all this to all these girls that got money, buying them PT cruises and everything else and damaged. That what you said. Buying the cars and paying her rent just like the Section 8 would do. Ain't that what he did? Ain't that what said on and in the transcript? See, she didn't think I knew my shit. You didn't think I knew what the hell I was talking about. You thought I was just a regular sub up there talking shit. No, that's Old Cove in your channel talking shit. I'm spitting that damn fire. And I will spit it everywhere I fucking go. Now, I'm going to tell you that it doesn't matter what you say. It doesn't matter what you do. And I knew that it took a long time for me to come on your platform, and I was aware of who you was. Because I know people that think like you and them oppositions can't handle me. And I know that they gonna kick me off. That's why the dragon don't deal too much with women. That's why I always, you see me on these internet, fight with men because women are too emotional. And I'm a woman, but I was raised by a lot of men. So I think just like them and tough as it can be. But you seem to be mad at me for being knowledgeable about all this case and have to have you, teach you about it a little bit. Because you seem to think that Section 8 is about witness protection. I wanted me and my son to be protected. She said she wanted her and her son, so that's why you get Section 8. Many people on Section 8 want to get protection, if that was the damn case. Who the hell gets protection for Section 8? That's what the goddamn marshals is for. They ain't walking around with her. She was just putting money on R. Kelly books. She ain't scared of his ass. Did you not hear Jennifer Bongine said he ain't even contact her ass? He ain't even reach out to her ass. So how the hell do you think she was in fear of his ass? They don't want none of this over there. They want to be oblivious. They want to be oblivious to shit. But that's what you're going to do. Go on over there and play victim. Because I'm going to give you strength over here. I'm not going to enforce weakness. That's not what I do. And that's not what I speak out here to people. With your liberal mind, you preach weakness. You don't like when women have to be held accountable. And you call them victims prematurely. I didn't know no victims to get breasts, to get cars, to get their rent paid. Sounds like to me they're victims for profit. Victims for profit. They can get the marshals if she was so in fear. I don't see her and her mama sitting up there with all these goddamn armed forces and men around them because they so afraid of R. Kelly. Why are you helping them take down your man, plain as Jane? They ain't never gave a damn about black girls in the neighborhood. Why are you preaching that, plain as Jane? That's not accurate. That's not accurate at all. You want the government to teach the mama how to lie and what to say on a stand. And you got mad at Spittinfire because I said if it's the truth, they don't need no help. Why would they have to do all that if she telling the truth? And you kick me backstage. How rude for somebody to come in your home and you invite them there to only kick them out because they don't say what you want them to say. You need not to ever have anybody that's a supporter up here because you can't handle the truth. But now you know I'm spitting fire. Remember the logo. You may not never want me to take that link again. You better be sure you know who you accept and accept that link. Because it may be somebody like me that's burning up and go spit fire and you can't handle it. Then you kept muting because your people were seeing you. And I didn't mean to do it. I don't come in nobody else's home and upshine them and upscale them. That's not what I'm trying to do. That wasn't the intention. The intention was two adult women who sees different and opposite sides of things and could come together and hopefully bring a perspective on both sides, but you wasn't able to handle my side and what I had to say. You want to challenge my advocacy. You didn't know who you were talking to. Interesting. Interesting that you didn't know, but now you do. Interesting that you think Section 8 Section 8 is for witness protection. It's for low-income housing. It's for low-income housing as well. And if they have to put you there, you definitely wouldn't be in this country. However, she moved with him, had a relationship with him, never threatened her. What would she possibly be afraid of when you're lying and the shit ain't making no sense? He ain't even thinking of her. Ain't thinking nothing of her. That came out in the transcript. See, what you want to do is get her on the stand, have her talk her shit, and then that's golden. But there's something in the court proceeding called cross-examination, and you also have to understand what she said. When she was asked, did Rob reach out to her in any form of capacity, she said no. He didn't even tell her to lie. Wasn't even really talking to her. Off and on, she said. So what fucking reason would she have to be in fear if this man ain't even goddamn thinking about your ass? But you want to hear what she says. She has to say something to justify why the hell she got Section 8 for her testimony. She got something called restitution. You didn't want to hear what I had to say about that. You may want to talk to some subscribers and not another content creator that know her shit. You may not want to fuck with me. I don't think you do. Because I don't think you can handle this. Because I've been following this story for 3.5 years along with Bill Cosby, because let me tell you something, Planet Jane, I advocate for men. I don't give a fuck about what you call and all those that call themselves victims. I don't give two shits about them, because to me, they victims for profit. I only support real victims. Fuck these victims, and you heard SPITTINFIRE say it. Record it, take a picture, write it down. Make sure you frame the shit. It's the dragon talking. Now, as I sat up here, and I see Oak Cove over there blowing them up and geeking them up, they know they don't want to fuck with me. Don't you let them goddamn burn your ass up. You got a big platform. I stay off of it. I'm all for helping and unity and black on black and Black Wall Street and building wealth. I'm all for that. But it seems to me, Miss Jane, you need cultural obligation, because it seems to me that you are a surface level thinker. And the Fire Flames don't deal with surface level thinkers. Not at all. But I appreciate the invitation. But you may want to make sure you know who coming up on your platform. And you better make sure it ain't nobody like the dragon. Somebody that you can handle. That you can sit up there and overtalk. That you can sit up there and act like you know more about the case than they do. But I promise you, you do not. You thinking on the terms of victims. And these are not victims. These are victims for profit. And this man is done wrong. He is looking at life in prison for fake allegations and accusations. And I said it. Because I ain't known no victims to write books and go to award shows and get fake breasts and get Section 8 and everything else. One minute you say it ain't you. The next minute you're saying it is you on the tape. Which is it? How is a juror supposed to identify what the truth is? You're saying he paid you and your family to get out of town so you won't sit up there and testify. Then you take a sentence for the government to testify. That's the same damn thing that they accused R. Kelly. But you didn't want me to tell you to 150,000 of your subscribers. Now, did you? Did you? No, you didn't. But some of them know who I am. That's why they was talking shit. Some of them don't like spitting fire. I don't give a shit. But I'm going to tell you this. And I'm going to talk my shit until I can't talk it no more. I don't pretend to be nothing that I am not. I'm fucked up and flawed like everybody else in the world. And I tell any and everybody. So I don't have a problem with telling you about yourself. We have a conviction rate in the FBI of 90-something%, plain as Jane. You want me to show you those statistics too? Do you want me to show you those too? But then we have a high exoneration rate, plain as Jane. You want me to show you those statistics too? You want me to show you those? Do I have to show you all of those? Because I've already showed you about the trafficking. Do you want me to email this to you? I said a lot of the times, do you want me to email this to you? These are key statistics. Do you want me to? Do you want me to email this to you? Here you go. Trial trafficking cases begin with family members involved. Do you want me to tell you these statistics is on the rise? Can I finish my statement, plain as Jane? This is the dragon. I don't say shit that I don't vet. I advocate for men. Men have rights too. And everybody keeps saying, what about your daughter? Well, what about your son? Because we don't give birth to just daughters. I am not a Me Too supporter, a Time's Up, Black Lives Matter, or anything else. You need to be cautious on who you allow take that link. To you, I'm your biggest enemy. To me, you are my biggest prize. I say that because you are the type of person that I believe that has a voice that can change for the better. These women's liberations movement is not where you need to be, Jane. It's not good for the culture. But I told you that the fact of the matter is Jane's mother pretended to be her Jane, and lied about her daughter. That's one. That's the instant. That's just one instance. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about R. Kelly. You said R. Kelly supporters. I was just telling you a lot of the times human trafficking starts at home, and you went, and that's where you're stuck at it at. And now that I had to show you statistics on that, I had to show you that. Okay? And I had to bag it up as I just showed you throughout this video. Let me know if you want it. I'll give you some literature on it. Nobody research shit like me. If you don't know who I am, also, I'm the queen of the breakdowns. I break shit down. And now that you know who I am, your ass will be watching. Now, she has to keep them coming. She has to. She has to keep them coming. But now they're here. 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning, and they're here. They want to know why anybody would support R. Kelly. I'm not supporting R. Kelly because I'm a fan. I fight against injustice, and this is what this is. Anytime a man sit up there and have a documentary out, that's already tainted his jury. That's my stance. That's my right to believe that. That's my right to advocate for that. That is my right. And I don't sit up there and succumb and go with the majority because they tell me to. I don't mute because they told me to. I didn't press mute like you did, Jane. So I know you down with mute, R. Kelly. I turned the volume up. Because when you a grown woman, that's what you do. You think for yourself. You don't have to sit up there and go with a lie because you can't be optimistic that maybe this man is innocent. You can't be optimistic because your victim and their parents can't get their lies straight. And unfortunately, this man can go to prison behind all his lies and inconsistent stories. That's the messed up part about it, Jane, but you don't see that. You want them to sit up there and help her, coerce her to tell the story that fit the narrative that you believe, Jane. Now, I don't know is why you sit up there and believe these Janes because you Jane. I don't know. But from one Jane to another, y'all better get your stories together and stop thinking at the surface level and get some cultural obligation. That's exactly what you need from you Jane to that Jane. The truth don't need no help. You said the government needed to sit up there and work with her a little more. They wouldn't have had to work with her if she was telling the truth. Because the truth don't need no help, Jane. It stands alone. So if she got caught on the stand and said something contrary to what the hell she sat up there and said, then she's lying, Jane. And how are you going to sit up there and support a woman that's lying, Jane? Jane! Is this what you Janes do? Jane, I thought we was going to be able to have a good collab. I thought that I would be able to talk to you as an opposition. You think just like them. You are emotionally disconnected, Jane. You get mad. You get mad and get angry and everything, Jane. Jane. Ain't no need to get and spitting fire. I'm friendly, Jane. I came on there, I was like, how you doing? What's going on? Like your setup and, oh, this is sister. Okay, we think differently, but okay. Wasn't enough. Make me think that you one of these damaged people, Jane. And I don't know you. And it ain't my business. But if you are, y'all shouldn't be talking about these subject matters. Because you can't handle it. And that's all I'm saying, Jane. I realized that I would never, and I said I wouldn't, but I would never talk to the opposition. Not me. Not me. Maybe somebody else can talk to them. Maybe somebody who's more soft-spoken, who's not as determined, who's not so sure, who's not so confident and strong. Maybe somebody weak and soft and something like that you can identify with should talk to you. I would not ever come on the opposition's platform again because they can't handle the dragon. And I don't go in the first place. But the one time I do go, and the treatment that I did get, I won't go again. I will stay in my lane, Jane. I surely will. But I would say to you, it was nice meeting you. It was nice meeting another woman on this internet, even though they thought different. Unfortunately, she couldn't handle the dragon, but that's okay, because not many people can. Not many men can. So I said, since she kept kicking me off, putting me behind strings, muting my mic, well, I told you I had my own platform. Just started. So I decided to get on my own platform then. You may not want to do that. You may not want to because you can't handle it, Jane. You can't handle it. You said I gave you false statistics about juveniles. That's what you said. And I was like, well, I'm laying in the bed, Jane. What do you want me to do? You want me to get up? I'm up. You want me to think off the top of my head? I told you, well, I'm in the bed, I'm laying down. I don't want to really come on the screen like that. You know, I'm it's early in the morning, I'm chilling. I said, well, look, put me behind stage and I'll let you look at me. And two black women, strong women, and can't have a conversation because we have an opposite way of thinking. And then I asked myself, I said, am I too hard on them? Am I too stern for them? And I wasn't going to bring up Debo's name. I just said a blogger, but she said you need Deboski. I was like, okay, you know about him. All right, well, yeah. But he has nothing to do with R. Kelly. Well, R. Kelly and his people do this and that's the same way the government thinks, and that is wrong because that man is not responsible for other adults. He's a man. He breathes the same damn air everybody else. And when the government try to pull that bullshit, that's garbage. And if we as black people allow them to pull that shit on us, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. Well, R. Kelly Camp, he's the one that did the bomb threat. That goddamn nigga didn't work for R. Kelly. He knew him, but he ain't work for that motherfucker. That's just like a blogger who they said threatened to F the government, and they try to associate him. Oh, you talking about the Boski gun? Well, I'm glad you know. It is all over the internet, but I was trying to, I'm from the Kel sector, so I'm trying to, whatever. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Wasn't trying to do it. He had nothing to do with that. Well, people, I said, I don't give two shits. He ain't never met that man. That man cannot be responsible for other adults. His fans can do that, so that means his people will do that too. If we make excuses up for grown folks' actions, for whatever the fuck their actions is, nobody will ever go to damn jail. The right people anyway. That's what the law is messed up, Jane. People are adults and have to be responsible for their own actions, Jane. When it was the pandemic, everybody had to wear a mask, Jane. Everybody. The air didn't give a goddamn. The air did not care. Jane. From one woman to another. You understand? It doesn't matter. So, we never got it. Every time I go on these people's channels, I never get to say what I want to say before somebody get mad. They get so goddamn mad at me, I'm not going on nobody else's platform. Don't ask me. I'm not going. Some of y'all asked me about the plainest Jane. Y'all don't send me no videos. I'm not going because they can't handle the dragon. They kick me off. They put me behind the door. They mute my mic. They do all this shit to the dragon because they can't handle me, and I understand. But damn, we cannot have a difference of opinion. I can't state why I support them. I can't state my stance and why, and I can't even finish my sentence. And all you can do is think of the statistics. And I didn't even say all. If I would have said all households and all parents and trafficking starts all at home, then I would say, where's the statistics to that? Show me the stats. But I didn't say all. I said most of the time. Almost. I didn't say all. Now you trying to play semantics? No, I'm not. I didn't say all. I never say all. All is a strong word. So I'm always watching what I say. I never say all. If I say most, if I say a lot, if I say majority, if I say whatever, that doesn't mean all. You want stats on that, and I just showed you, Jane. Go back and look at the video. I showed it about 5 times. Showed you one of the stats. There's many of them out there, Jane. Then I tried to give you a scenario about parents. A lot of them don't know where their kids at night, what they doing, where they doing it, how they doing it. A lot of people know that their kids and their daughters working in strip clubs underage. Strip clubs get closed down all the time for underage girls. And the mamas know that the daughters are underage because it's 3, 4 in the morning, she ain't at home. But she bringing home a wide load of money. That's trafficking, Jane. That's what's happening. The trafficking don't start with the sex act, Jane. The trafficking starts with the intent. I'm quite sure you read up these indictments. You ought to know these words, Jane. So, I'm sure. Do not block anybody. Her refresh got him out of here. Don't block nobody. Let them stay. Let them stay. Let them stay. As long as they not being, they can have difference of opinion. Let them stay. Because it's enough of y'all to be in there to educate them. You have to understand. They only know what the media tells them. They don't understand about the injustice that we know that this man is facing. There was a documentary that was put out here that already tainted the jury. It doesn't matter if a man is guilty or innocent. He has a right. He has rights, people. You keep giving them your black man and violating every right. We don't need no constitution. When they sit up there and arrest these people for this public shooting, they'll handcuff them. They read them, they Miranda them. There's a hearing. He has rights. He don't just go from shooting people on the site to prison. There's a process because he has rights. Whether he's innocent or guilty. And that goes for R. Kelly. That goes for everybody in the chat. That goes for you, Jane, me, and everybody else. When you think everybody is on here because they think he's innocent, you're mistaken and misinformed, Jane. Welcome to Spitting Fire. Now that we had this conversation, let me explain how does this go. When you sit up there and want a man in prison, even if, and contrary to what is said on the stand, that is something that is really bad in our culture. That's something that people shouldn't be out here spreading. Because here is what optimistic is. Here is what the truth is. You can sit up here and be telling the truth. Or your truth, as what everyone says. She telling her truth. I don't understand that cliche, however. People say it all the time. That's her truth. I don't understand that bullshit. It's either a truth or a lie. That's the era I come from. All that her truth and his truth and all these different truths and shit. No. It's either a truth or a lie. It happened or it didn't. Now, we got this mother on the stand, right? Listen to me. We got this mother on the stand. She said R. Kelly threatened her. Then she said he didn't threaten her. The report is showing that her testimony was disjointed. It wasn't no connection. It didn't make sense. You was saying one thing, it was all over the place. And then you try to justify that the government needed to work with her a little more. Not the fact that, or being given R. Kelly the benefit that maybe he didn't do it. Why is it that he can't have the benefit of not doing it if she said he did it and then said he didn't? Then she said it wasn't her daughter and then said it was. Why he cannot have the benefit of that doubt, Jane? Everybody in this chat, even the opposition, why, when the mother went up on the stand, why he couldn't have that benefit of the doubt out of her own mouth? I'm not talking about no evidence. I'm talking about when she took the stand. And her testimony was contrary to what she said and was disjointed. Why you couldn't give him that doubt, that benefit of the doubt? Why couldn't you? And I'm talking to the oppositions in the chat. And I'm talking to you, Jane. I know you're watching. Why? Why it must be the government have to work with her a little more? Why couldn't be that, well, maybe he didn't do it? Why he couldn't get that? Why your black man couldn't get that? Because the rumors that's been going on for a whole long time? Because the sex tape that she's screaming out she 14 that nobody normally do? Or what about the sex tape that showed not only did she scream out she was 14, but she was the one that told R. Kelly to pee on her? Are we going to talk about that, Jane? Because she the one who was dominating in that video when they played it, Jane, and the media ain't tell you that, Jane. Oh, no, they didn't tell you that. Jane, they ain't tell you that shit, did they? I know they didn't. I know goddamn well, yeah, she told him, Daddy, pee on my butt. All these years, for 25 years, the whole world thought he was just violating her and being on her. She told him, you gotta pay me. She had her hand out at the beginning of that tape, Jane. Jane. Did you know that, Jane? Mm-hmm. They ain't tell you that, did they? You ain't tell her 150K plus of your subs that she had her hand out before the sex. Then when asked on the stage, she said, well, he told me to pretend that if we get caught, that I was a prostitute. That would make his career fold even faster, Jane, as if nobody would know who the hell she was. You got to use common sense when people talk, people, not just sitting up there listening to what they say. You got to remember, at the end of the day, no matter how much you dislike him, he was the one that was a superstar and rich. They the ones that was poor. They got a lot to want to gain, Jane. Jane? It's a lot of things that got to happen. And research on Google is not research. Unless you're looking for something that give you some valid information, like the statistics that Jane requested that I showed her that I did. Right, Jane? Jane, now that you done kicked me off your channel, and I'm not coming back over your house no more, Jane, because you don't know how to have no hospitality. You don't know how to have no hospitality, Jane. What is it? What is it, Jane? Why do you want this man to be so guilty, Jane? Because you got your mind made up already? Because you've been telling over 100,000 people this stuff already? It don't matter, Jane. These are the things that you're supposed to be wrong about, Jane. Think about it. Don't nobody want to know that somebody or a child been violated. And if there's inconsistencies in that and it proves that there's some not truth telling in that, then you should be able to want to report that on your channel, Jane. It should go something like this. If it's found out that these people weren't truth telling, Jane, it should say something like, woo. For a long time, I was thinking R. Kelly was guilty, but she got on the stand and her testimony was rocky. I don't know. Maybe they're not telling the truth. There's something that we have to really keep an eye on. That's something where your commentary should have went, Jane. Not to try to get her story together. You don't coerce a lie to the public. Nice looking woman like you know better than that, Jane. No homo. I'm just keeping it a buck. From one black woman to another giving you some compliment. You know better than that, Jane. You know you ain't supposed to be doing nothing like that. Now you know better. Now you know better, Jane. You know better than that. You know that ain't right. You know that black folks, and particularly men, suffer some injustice in this world. You know that, Jane. You ain't get to be where you at on these internet streets and not know that. I'm just here to remind you. Not here to fight with you, Jane. I was just simply coming to introduce myself to you. Black woman to black woman. Unity. Building black wealth and black Wall Street. And you kick me out your house, Jane. That hurts, Jane. Now, here, I'm just telling, and the tape wasn't authentic, Jane. And I told you, I said, well, you know the tape wasn't authentic. You know that means that it could have been manipulated. They could have added those words, 14-year-old this and 14-year-old that, because I don't know nobody says that during sex. I don't know nobody shout out their age during sex. But then again, it is what it is. They may, I don't know. But I tell you what, she was the dominant, Jane. 14 and all. She was the dominant. She was telling R. Kelly what to do. Jane, I even said R. Kelly lost 100 freak points, Jane, and I'm a supporter. He lost freak points for that. Y'all sitting up there saying he violated this girl and had sex with this young girl, and yet she was running him in the damn bedroom. He lost 100 freak points, Jane. You ain't even let me get a chance to tell you that. Didn't let me get a chance to tell you that at all. That's okay. That's okay. And the IRS doesn't prove anything to me. I don't know. I'm not going to even lie. I haven't even heard much about the IRS, but I do know that the man can't read, can't write, and can't add, and can't do math. And if he got dyslexia, somebody else had to do those things and got his affairs all messed up, as along with Tony Braxton, as along with a whole lot of celebrities that lost their wealth. Why do we act like that shit don't happen? Why they trying to criminalize everything about this man? That is not right, people. Everybody ain't born bad. Everybody ain't all bad all the time. I keep telling y'all that, people. If you are a believer, you know. If you know the story about Lucifer, you know he was kicked out of heaven. He was once an angel. He wasn't all bad, not even the devil himself. So how is it that you going to allow this man to be all bad? That doesn't make logical sense. Charles Manson wasn't even all bad. Ted Bundy wasn't even all bad. Hell, well, the Briley brothers compared to the mama was all bad. The only one I know that was all bad was the oldest Briley brother. But the rest of them wasn't even all bad. And if he got some IRS issues, and he paid out people, like y'all said, he paid out this people, he paid out that people, then why did they bring criminal charges? Because it seemed to me they settled the civil situation. It's either sometimes you can bring criminal or you can bring civil. It's injustice to do both, Jane. And this is why. That we have to really pay attention to what we say about our people. We got to stop wanting our men to be guilty. Even when they are guilty, we better hope and pray that they not. We got to stop giving them to them. And the government ain't never gave a damn about your damn daughters, your 14-year-old. They ain't never gave a damn about you, Jane, me, or anybody in this chat. They wanted him, the golden goose. That's all they want. They gave everybody else immunity. They just want him because he's a big fish. That's not justice, Jane. That's killing hope for your culture, Jane. That gives your sons and your little brothers and who want to be musicians no hope. They killing off all your musician men, Jane. If you haven't noticed, they charging them with RICO. Little black boys can't grow up to be rappers as they desire or the next Ice Cube or anything else because they locking them up, charging them with RICO now. And they said there's going to be more to come. They don't have no Al Capones no more, so now they going after your black men and putting them in the place of them. And if you allow them to do that, Jane, without even speaking up or giving them the benefit of the doubt, you are going to be misinforming 150,000 people, Jane. Because I can care less about R. Kelly being innocent or guilty. But I am here for the injustice on that, and that's some injustice. That's not how our democracy is supposed to work. You're not supposed to stop nobody from making a life and liberty. That violates his First Amendment right and his constitutional right, Jane. When they mute him, they violate his constitutional right, Jane. When they sat up there and did that documentary and it's one-sided and all the media one-sided, that violates his due process, Jane. There's other things than his innocence and guilty that we as Black America need to be informed about, Jane. And it ain't got nothing to do with just innocence and guilt. We all guilty of some shit, Jane. But you still want your men to be arrested the right way, Jane. Because anytime the government has to break the law to uphold the law, Jane, that's still injustice. That means he still have the presumptions of innocence. That means that if you had a whole lot of drugs around your house, Jane, and I'm in law enforcement, I bust down the door and I arrest you without reading you your memorandum or have a search warrant, you still innocent. No matter if you had drugs and guns all around that place, Jane, that's the way the law works. And that works for R. Kelly as well, Jane. You can't sit up there and just ignore the fact that these parents put these kids and all this stuff that they're claiming in this situation, Jane, and not want them to go down. You got to stop and think, Jane. Because if they don't go to jail, that's not fair for him to go. The trafficking don't start with the act, Jane. It start with the intent. When Azriel's mother pretended to be her and lied to him about her age, that was the trafficking, Jane. When she told her what to wear and how to seduce him, that was trafficking, Jane. That's where the trafficking starts, Jane. And many times you guys speak on emotion. And this man gonna spend the rest of his life in jail on emotion and damaged women. And next thing you know, Jane, you ain't gonna have no men. You ain't gonna have no men. If he was so guilty, they would have went to the police, Jane. The government would have had to go get them. The government wouldn't have had to go seek them, Jane. They would have came to him. They would have came to the government. If they was violated, Jane, then people say, oh, statistically, they identify with their abuser. Well, then maybe we need to sit up there and analyze what is abuse, Jane. Because when the parents take money, Jane, and knowing that their daughter was supposed to be involved with an older man, and if it's a violation, Jane, as people think and say it is, then why these parents are not charged with trafficking if they took the money, Jane? That's what trafficking is. The act is the ending. That's the ending. The trafficking starts when you exchange. Jane? And when you want people to sit up there and do that, Jane, that's, I don't know what to tell you. And for those of you who believe everything what the mainstream media tells you, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. You know why people keep on sitting up there asking? They kept on saying, she keep on talking about surviving R. Kelly. She keep on talking about surviving R. Kelly. That's what everybody was saying, Jane. Because this person was in it, Jane. You for victims, Jane. So you shouldn't be approving surviving R. Kelly if he was in it, Jane. That's where the hypocrisy that I was finna speak on that I never got a chance to talk to you about on your channel, Jane. And she, his victim. And y'all listen to him every day. Y'all listen to him on the Breakfast Club every day. She went to the police, Jane. She went to the doctor, Jane. There was a thorough investigation, Jane. And guess what, Jane? The medical staff said that there was trauma. She was R-word, Jane, by him. And nobody picking up her story, Jane. And she not once sued him or asking for money, Jane. She ain't getting Section 8, Jane. I'm just keeping it a buck with you. See, Jane, let me tell you something about mainstream media. Since you don't think I know my shit. Let me tell you. There is something, Jane, And I know you don't know what this is, Jane. You or your people. Do you know what this is, Jane? Do any of you know what this is? I know the old cove over here know. But do you? If you don't know, this is where your mainstream publications and media get their orders from. These are the investors that's over the parent companies of your mainstream media. I know you probably thinking that. And they own award shows and things. And I know you're probably thinking that CBS and CNN and all that owned by Disney and AT&T is the parent company of all of them. That is true, if you knew that. But these are the big investors in that. And these are the people that tell mainstream publications to speak bad on R. Kelly and don't shine no light on him or Bill Cosby, Jane. These are your black men. They tell them that no matter what happened, make them look bad in the media. They get the orders from them, Jane. The people that y'all listen to, your Jason Meisners and all those Chicago sometimes get their orders from Vanguard or BlackRock. One of them too. They own it all. These are the powers that be, Jane. These are the powers that be. But Jane, not only is these the powers that be, not only is these the powers that be, these are the powers that run your court system, Jane. Yeah, they have a large stake in private prisons. And this is why they want your black men in there, Jane, particularly Bill Cosby and R. Kelly. So not only does Vanguard get and tells them to make them look bad in the media, but they get a very large payout when he goes to prison. And if he's a celebrity, they get double the amount of money from the government, Jane. And it's $1 billion a year. And they will get normally $35,000 per inmate. But because he's a high public figure, they will get $70,000 to house him for the first 5 years, Jane. So not only do they own the media, but they own the prisons, Jane. This is why they want him. And they was called out in a Johnny Depp case with Amber Heard. Donating a lot of money to the ACLU, Jane. The people you support being a liberal woman. Oh, I am a Democrat. Just not happy being one right now. So, Jane, I just wanted you to know that I'm no dummy, Jane. Many may think so, but I'm not. So when you sit up there and have people take that link, you may want to vet them because they may be somebody like me. And they may come in the middle of the night like me. And the investors call all the shots. So this is why your men, and they making them look bad, Jane. So bad that they got people like you fooled, Jane. Programmed. The mainstream media. So, Jane, I'm just telling you that anytime somebody get caught on the stand lying about somebody who you think a predator that's in your race, and it's shown that they may be fabricating, and it's an opportunity and a leapway for you to be optimistic, you may want to take that, Jane. That's called cultural obligation. That's when you want to. Nobody want they black men to be rapists. They happens, they're out there, but that's just not black men. There's Asian men and white men and Mexican men and all kind of people. But the fact is, you want to be wrong about those things, Jane. So when you say the government need to work with her a little more, to sit up there and rehearse her a little more, that's not good, Jane. It's not good. Instead of saying, well, maybe he innocent. Why can't your black man have the benefit of the doubt of being innocent? Why? Do you know that 95%, and I said this earlier, they said that the FBI, the government, has 95% conviction rate. That's a problem, Jane. People think that's good. Really, that's bad statistics, Jane. Considering the fact that black people get 7 times more of the crime and sentence than whites, Jane, that's bad. And there's a high exoneration rate, Jane. So that means, what is the real stats on that? If there's 90-something% conviction rate and there's a large exoneration rate, Jane, them not true stats either. Since you want to know some stats. Since you want to know some stats. And you got to think of it like this, Jane. Many people take plea deals. And they don't go to trial. And people think because it's the government, that means they right. When in fact, if they look at the transcript, they really will understand that a lot of times the government evidence, if you read it all, it can show that the defense is innocent. Yeah, Jan, that's true. The government only asks questions that's going to substantiate their narrative and what they want you to believe. Oh, we read GX 233. Oh, yes, we did. And guess what was in that, Jane? You know what GX 233 is, Jane? GX 233 is government exhibit, Jane. That's where we found out that the mother pretended to be Azriel, Jane. And they admitted that into evidence, Jane. Did you know that most of the time jurors don't even bother to read the evidence, Jane? After being on and listening to the trial for 5 and 6 weeks, they are exhausted and they would just agree to say a verdict and go home. And a lot of the times, Jane, no statistics needed there. A lot of the times they wrong. And that increases the exoneration rate, Jane. GX 233, you need to read up on that, Jane. There's a lot of information in there, and that is the government's exhibit. See, if they would have read all of GX 233, he may not have been guilty in it, nor the Eastern District of New York, Jane. But then again, it could. Because did you know that the judge was a Me Too judge, Jane? Didn't know that, did you, Jane? Did you know that they had somebody that worked for the prosecution office on the jury, Jane? Didn't know that either, did you, Jane? Did you know that most of the people already thought that he was guilty before even having a trial, Jane, because of what they seen on Surviving R. Kelly? You believe that too, don't you? Well, then we got a problem. You will keep saying what you want to say over there on your channel. And I will be on my channel still fighting injustice, as I believe this case will be another case because of people like you and the government and everybody else think alike. Just give them all your black men. I'm tired of people blaming the victims. Victim shaming. You know, Jane, shame is not always a bad thing. You know, we do have this cliche that we used to always say back in the day when we hold people accountable. You know, back in the day when people were held accountable. Yeah, back in that day. We used to tell people when they did something wrong, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. When they do something, we used to tell them you ought to be ashamed of yourself. That's where that cliche come from. And now everybody makes shame a bad thing when shame used to keep you in line. Keep you in line. I'm not saying that he's innocent or guilty. I've said that for 3 years. But if the law violated to uphold it, then his presumption of innocence stands. And that has to be respected. The government can't give incentives for her to testify, give her Section 8, and tell her she can get restitution and give her down payment on her apartment and all this stuff, because if she's supposed to be in witness protection, the lawyers wouldn't even have that information. We got to think. But a lot of times people don't do that. How did this go? Oh, he taught her. He did this to her. He did all this stuff. Then she come out and say her auntie told her to sit on his lap. That's trafficking. That's trafficking, Jane. That's trafficking. A lot of times people don't want to deal with the truth. Then I told you about teenagers. You talking about teenagers and shooting and all this and that? Yes, because when we talking about crime, let's talk about it. You can't sit up there and see these teenagers getting sawed-off rifle and spraying up a whole grocery store full of elderlies and think they ain't fucking them. They won't fuck them. You can't think that, Jane. I don't know why we want to say when the sexual assault is all just the adult fault. Do you know that a lot of teenagers, a lot of students, a lot of female teachers in certain areas, there is a statistics on that, Jane, and I don't know what they are, but they are out there, have been sexually assaulted by teachers. And there has been teachers sexually assaulted by students. So what do you say in that instance? I just think we need to reevaluate what's going on, because the first thing you and people like you, Jane, say they young girls, they this. But as soon she can't fuck R. Kelly. No, he shouldn't have been fucking her. He shouldn't have been doing that. Shame on him. Go to jail, throw away the key. She's just a child. She's just a baby. That what you say, Jane? She don't know what she doing. But as soon as that 14-year-old kills somebody, you be the first one to say, try him as an adult, lock him up, throw away the key. Now, which is it, Jane? Either they kids or they ain't. And we gonna try him as an adult, because why we gonna try him as an adult? They kids. Y'all say that when they come to R. Kelly, he shouldn't have sex with them. Okay, I give you that. So, because they kids, they young. But when they pick up an assault rifle, they still kids. You can't pick. Because these lives ain't coming back. These girls that went on to be naked, Jane. They naked out here. They naked out here. Why you kicked me off your show, Jane? I just left and bowed out gracefully. Because if you kept muting me and kept putting me backstage, the dragon don't have to go through all that. The second time I said, I promise you, I ain't going on nobody else's platform. Not that I don't know. I'll put it that way. I will stay in my realm. Because y'all out there ain't even ready for me. Y'all ain't. See, the people over here, they already know me. Whether they're the opposition or the supporters. They already know my temperament. They already know my big ass mouth. They already know it. They already know I got a foul mouth. They already know this. But y'all out there in the main sector, y'all don't know. So I'm going to advise y'all to probably stay in the main sector. Talk about main topics. Let the chaos people talk about the chaos topic, because we know a whole lot about it. Whether you're the opposition or not. But when you want to talk about it, and you ask people who are supporters to come up there, and I know they was mad than a motherfucker when they seen that damn logo. They was mad than a bitch. Like, here come her fat ass. Her fat ass always up there. Yeah, that's right. I'm going to get my fat ass up there. I'm the main one to call myself fat. I'm a fat, fine, shapely motherfucker, though. Don't get it twisted. I ain't got no stomach down to my knees and shit. Just got some big ass titties and ass. That's all. For my little height. That's all. That's all. But in the meantime, in between time, I tell shit like it is. I tell it like it is, Jane. And unfortunately, we had to meet, but it ain't no hard feelings. I will still support. Ain't no hard feelings. But you better talk right, Jane, because I'm out here. I'm out here. And you know it. And I'm just telling you, don't put Jane. Y'all can search it in YouTube. I've never seen so many people refuse to listen to the obvious. I've never. I could not even sit up here. I could be an advocate for these damn women. If I was an advocate for these victims, what y'all call victims, with my air quotes, I would be mad than a motherfucker. You put me out here talking shit to people, and your ass, these parents is behind this shit, man, I will be ripping them a new one. I'm not the type of motherfucker that's going to say, well, the government should help you reverse your lines. This is a man's life and freedom. That should not come out of nobody's mouth with a platform like that. You cannot engage and support injustice to our people. You see that this is a grown-ass woman that took the stand. A grown-ass woman got caught up in her words, and you want the government to help her get it together. How dare you? How dare you preach that out here to the black America? Yeah, have a good day, Lady D. I just don't even think that is just, that broke my heart, Jane, when you said that. When you said, that's what made me take the link. Whether they should have worked with her a little bit more, that put a knot in my stomach. Because you got to think, they went and found her. She didn't go to them, Jane. She didn't go to them, Jane. And that's heartbreaking. Some of you need to go get counseling. Some serious counseling, and stay your ass off of this and off this subject. Because you ain't doing the culture no good listening to this shit. If you automatically damaged for one reason or what happened to you in life. Because I'm not going to sit up here and pat your back and stroke your head and your ego because you a victim of something at the expense of a man's freedom and life. Not gonna do it. Can't do it. Won't do it. It shouldn't be done. After he has been screaming that he has been a victim himself. That gets ignored. The hypocrisy in this is wrong. The way they did this is wrong. There was 2 surviving R. Kellys, a watch party, a pre-rally, then a tour to get him to stop working, and then a mute. I ain't never known a guilty man having to have all that to be brought down. Never known. Not the biggest celebrity. They didn't have to do all that with Bernie Madoff. That's what made me think this is injustice. You don't need to do all that. If you tell the truth stands on its own. You don't need to do all that. Something ain't right here. And this man going to prison for some shit that ain't right. Then you got a sentence of 30 years, and all y'all out here like the man ain't been sentenced to 30 years already. Y'all want more. And then, a lot of the times, when they go to prison, after so many years, people come out and say they lied. No repercussions, no consequences, and the world like, oh well. What you gonna do, Jane, if they come out and say that they lied on this man? What you gonna tell your supporters, Jane? What would you think, Jane? I don't think that many women who has been sexually assaulted or molested should speak on this case, should be watching this stuff at all. I got a girlfriend and I told her don't even watch this shit. She took my advice. These are triggers. And people in the world don't have to succumb to your triggers. This is what we trying to tell you. I don't have to support who you call a victim. Because I don't call them victims. I call them victims for profit. Because that's all the Me Too has given birth to since they came out. Victims for profit. Everybody want the dough. So I'm going to tell you, Jane. The next time, listen to what they say. They the ones who got something to gain. He ain't got nothing to gain at this point. R. Kelly don't have nothing to gain at this point. Am I right or wrong? She said that they have they in Section 8 because of witness protection. Now y'all know I came back with that. That's what the fuck the U.S. Marshals for. What the hell you gonna go get Section 8 for? When that's what the U.S. Marshal for if you scared. They should be outside your damn apartment. They should be staking out your damn house. They should be walking you in and out into the market. You just flew back from Florida. They wasn't with your ass from Florida. You got your ass on a public plane and took your ass to Florida. This man been locked up for 3 years. What the hell you scared for? Y'all say and believe some crazy shit out here. Y'all act like y'all ain't got no hood in y'all. Y'all act like we black ain't got no struggle in us. Y'all just act like y'all been so migrated into other cultures. Y'all just forgot about black culture at all. And I was the first one to say, Jane, speaking of this P-tape and this videotape, I was the first one to say on these internet streets, well, it ain't look like she mind being peed on. And Lord behold, they listened to the audio. Oh, we have bloggers in the courthouse. This is why it's called the Kell sector. And she the one who said, pee on me. Pee on my butt. She the one initiated to be urinated on. Ain't that a bitch? You 14 years old. What the heck? What? Golden shot. Now you know. Then everybody thought he peed on this girl. Now, y'all know goddamn well, as black people, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 20, 100, whatever. We love our hair. We stylish about our hair. Braids, all the shit black people do, and we got fucking what you call that? Weave shops. What you call that? Them Chinese weave shops. What y'all call that? Hair. No, not hair. What y'all call that? Them weave places where you get the nail stuff and beauty supply. That's what you got. The beauty supply. We got them in every hood across the country. Billions of dollars industry. For many years, we had beauty supply. We had beauty supply. And they get their $billion stuff from us. Us. Black people. I said that to say that if we didn't, and this is why I said that maybe she wanted to be peed on. Before I even heard about what was said the other day. Because we love our hair, whether it's short, whether it's long, whether it's pressed, blowed out, and weave, and braids, and twists, and shortcut, faded, whatever we wear. We love it. Because we as black women, as you had your nice locks in your hair or braids, whatever you got colors in it. We like those things. And you go to the beauty supply and you get those things. So you know goddamn well, if he would have pissed on her, she didn't want it, they'd be fighting on that goddamn camera. As much as we love our hair, it's something that will happen to where you pee on my hair, goddamn, when we going at it. Camera be over with. It be ass and titties and dick slinging all over the goddamn place. Wouldn't be no fucking, be some fighting. The other F word. But y'all want to be brand new. Y'all want to be brand new. And that what makes me think that she wasn't the age she say she was. Because we got to think the tape wasn't authentic. The original tape that was played in 2008 trial had no audio to it. This one had audio. And it wasn't authentic. And it has been proven that it was manipulated. You got to think about these things. Because don't nobody say, come F this 14-year-old this and 14-year-old that. There was a jury in that trial that said that the girl in the tape did not resemble the girl that they said it was. Because they showed a picture of Roshonda. And they said the girl in the video was a lot more formed than the girl that they said was the underage girl at that time. Nobody want to talk about that. Nobody want to talk about that. What happened to the foreman juror that acquitted him and said that? Let's talk about these things now. They said they believe it's him, but them two are not the same girl. Nobody want to say that. Now she gets Section 8 to say it is her. Because he ain't giving no more money. He been locked up for 3 years. He was sentenced to 30 years. So if I say this and he already got 30 years, what is the harm of me coming on here, throwing him up under the bus? I can still put money on his goddamn books. I get Section 8 for life and restitution. Y'all got to know your shit. You got to know your shit. right? Then he said, she said he told her, you got any more girlfriends that want to get in on this? Like have a threesome. You got some friends? She said, yeah. Brittany and Pinky. Okay. Well, tell him, I pitch it to him. Okay. But under the same breath, she said he wanted to keep their little thing a secret. Well, he couldn't have kept it a secret if you saying he wanted to bring in Pinky and Brittany. Now, which is it? They supposed to be testifying. They got incentives too. Hey, girl, all we got to do is testify against R. Kelly. We can get this lit. Sound like a plan to me, because I sell all y'all asses under the bus for Section 8. I told all y'all in the chat. I'm throwing all y'all asses under the bus. If they ever give me Section 8, I'm telling, Spittinfire telling on everybody. Let them throw a bridge card in there. I'm going to add some shit. And that's what she did. You got some girls. The government don't give a damn about the truth of the lie when it's going to benefit their narrative. Told him he want us to keep it a secret, but then turn around and say he want to have a threesome with them. He don't know who they is, don't know what they are, but he just wants you to just bring some strangers around him. And they ain't never had sex either, but they just so willing to do threesomes. Yeah, okay. Now, we want to act like we wasn't 13 and 14 years old. We wasn't that goddamn stupid. We'll be like, girl, no. Y'all believe every motherfucking thing these goddamn people say. Then people say all of them can't be lying. Yes, the hell they can with all this type of money we talking. Yes, they can. And they will. And they is. Shit, for the right goddamn money, I'm allowing some of y'all goddamn niggas. And y'all gonna do the goddamn same. Shit. Let's keep it a goddamn buck. For the right goddamn money, yes you will. Yes the hell you will. Especially if you getting some money, shit. Everybody lying for a bag. A book deal, all kind of shit. Hell yeah. Why the hell should I fuck them? And you fuck them? And you fucked them? And you bring about a charge? And you go sue? I'm going to get some money too because I gave him some cootie cat. Hell yeah. 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 Duh. Shit. I did the same thing you did. I want some. Well, you gonna split that bad, sister. You gonna split that. For real, Sherry. Let me tell you something. I was in my backyard one day. In my old house. I was doing some yard work. I think I was doing some yard work. And there was some little girls that was walking down the street. It was about 4, 5 of them in the crowd. They was loud. And school was out. And I'm so used to them being loud, you know, and I'm raking. And I was planting flowers, I think it was in May. Yeah, it was May because I was planting flowers. And school was at the end because it was warm outside, obviously. Remember me telling you that? Yeah. And I was sitting up here planting some flowers or doing some yard work. And I hear this girl talking. And she had such a strong voice. And they was about 12 to 15. And if I say 15, that was the older. So I would say between 13 and 15. 12 maybe, but somewhere up around there. And I remember her saying, and I'm planting, and I'm used to them cussing. So if y'all think these y'all kids don't be out here cussing, y'all lying. They be out here cussing. So I'm used to the kids cussing, so I ain't thinking nothing of it. And I'm planting my flowers, and I'm doing this, and I'm just planting it and everything. And somehow, I don't know how they got near my house where I could hear what she was saying. But I heard her, and she was like, yeah, that nigga think he was going to run something on me. Shit, I'm going to tell that nigga he want to hit this. He got to run me some money. I need to get my hair in there. I mean, she was talking cash shit. And this girl was in middle school talking about if somebody want to fuck her, they had to give her money. She was talking cash shit so much so I looked up. And when I looked up, one of the other little girls looked at me and tried to tap her. Was like, come on, like, let's leave. And I looked up at her because of the conversation she was having about fucking, but not just about fucking, about the fact that she gonna run this nigga pockets. The shit she was talking, I was like for real? He got to give me some goddamn money. He gonna pick me up from school. So obviously this guy's driving. She said all this shit, y'all. She was talking, and the littlest thing, I'm talking little, and was talking so much shit. I wore his ass out. He wants some more of this. He got to give me some money. I'm like, what the fuck? Shocked. I was like, whoo. And when they see me look up, I'm looking at her because I'm hearing a conversation like, what? Like, I can't believe, I'm and it's little shrubs, and I'm like, who is that talking like that? And they hurried up and left. It's about a good 8 years ago. Hurried up and left. That's what happened. I'm not saying it's all right for somebody older to be sleeping with somebody underage. I'm not saying that at all. I ain't never said that. But we can't act like that shit don't happen, though. We can't act like it's these kids ain't doing this, though. We can't act like parents ain't putting their kids up to this shit, though. We can't act like that either. And if it is, we can't just be getting them either. We got to get everybody that's involved in. You can't have pick on what you want to do when you want to break down this shit and stop it. All these parents have been exposed in this shit, and y'all just comfortable with just him going to jail. I got a problem with that. You want Spittinfire to bag up, you better arrest some parents. Your first line of protection is your parents. Talking about some HUD, and listen to this. Before I get up out of here, I'm going to run some real shit on y'all. Listen to this. He shouldn't have took no plea deal if he think he innocent. If he really fighting for his innocence, he shouldn't have took no plea deal. If Bill Cosby would have took a plea deal, he wouldn't be free today. He'd be registered as a sex offender. And that's what's wrong with Black America. We teaching them to be succumb to master's government. No, let's listen to what he have to say, because we're in the Me Too era. So everybody is trying to pacify this era we in, because we in this victim era where victims ain't been believed, and so we got to believe her, and the man is a liar. These are your sons, are your brothers, and your uncles, and your fathers that they're putting away, and you say take a plea deal? So if you got a son that is going to grow up and be on the basketball team, and he got girlfriends, and he break up and scoring and all this and that, and he make it rich, and she say he raped her, you going to say take a plea deal? No. I will go down if I'm innocent. Because that's another innocent man that's going to end up being exonerated. Don't tell your people that. It ain't believe all women. Women lie. Believe all women is saying all men are liars. Think about it. Believe all women is saying all men are liars. We can't say women lie about everything but sexual assault. Women lie about being sexually assaulted too. Bonjean pointed out that stat, Jane, in cross-examination. I think we need to all I'm asking people to do is reassess this whole situation. These women ain't being truthful. These parents ain't being truthful. Something ain't right. Now, one thing I can say, people think that I think that R. Kelly ain't guilty of nothing. That's not true. That's not true. I'm going to tell you what I think that he is. I don't think what he did is a criminal crime of prosecution. But I think without the parents being prosecuted too, allegedly, whatever the hell, and I don't think that the government did right. So y'all know how I feel about that. But I would say R. Kelly is guilty of being a homewrecker. He knows he has a celebrity status. He knows he's attractive. He knows he has money. He knows he has poise. He knows he has swag. He knows he has all this. And you taking men, wives and shit. Breaking up homes and not respecting people's unity, matrimony, and vows. I would say he's guilty of that. I would say that. I really would. I'm not going to sit up here and sugarcoat him, Teen Kells, not at all. But I don't think that's a point to go to jail for. And I don't think that's all his fault, because the women had a choice. But as far as knowing that you can take somebody's wife, yeah. You know you can. You know you can. You know you can. You know that just being you, you ain't got to do no convincing. You just R. Kelly, like Sparkle. And Poe Earl. Poe Earl. Sparkle ain't come back. And now you got Sparkle scorn. You got Sparkle scorn. But the man need to understand that his wife is the one he married. This the one he married. So even that's a tricky situation. But R. Kelly know he can take it, though. He do know that. He's guilty of knowing that. He knows he can take people's wives. He know that. He know it. And he even said it. I'm handsome. He know it. Sparkle, the sister and the niece. And then ain't nobody saying shit. And if y'all dumb if y'all believe R. Kelly fucked that underage. She been in their house. Supposed to be the goddaughter. And then when she got of age, she fucked with Andrea and R. Kelly. Y'all the dumbest ass people if y'all believe that shit. Because if you gonna say he fucked with her underage, so the fuck did Drea. Because everybody kept asking where the fuck was Drea at. And if you gonna sit up there and say Lisa Van Allen didn't know she was underage, she's a damn lie. Because she was sleeping with Drea too. They lied to y'all asses. They just lied. Let me show you. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show y'all. Hold on. Y'all may want to hurry up and download this, because after I show y'all this, they may want to hurry up and take it down. Let me see if it's this one. Hold on. Let me see. Okay, no, this ain't it. This ain't it. Okay, hold on. Hold on, y'all. I'm trying to find it. Damn. Hold on. Okay. Let me show y'all. Let me take me off. Hold on. Hold on. Let me shrink the screen. Let me shrink the screen. I'm going to take me off. I'm going to take me off for a minute. All right. And then okay. Let me blow this up. Now, this is R. Kelly and this is his daughter. Right? This the I Wish video. Right? See? Them his kids. That's the little girl. The boy is holding his baby girl. That's his kids. Right? He in his boxer shorts. Right? The community is there. All right? He at his mama's grave site. That's the community, right? Got the community all there. Talking to his mama. Supposed to have been like the funeral. He's reenacting his mama's funeral for the song, talking to her from heaven, right? About the stresses he going through, about being rich and famous. Everybody wants something from him because they see the house and the cars and all that. Right? With the homies. Right? On the porch. Getting his hair braided. But there's somebody that's braiding his hair. With the homies. That's his daughter sitting behind or beside him. Get why he getting his hair braided. That's his other daughter. That's Lisa Van Allen. That's your victim braiding his hair that he didn't want nobody to talk to and look at and all this and that. But she in the video with his kids, with his children. So if he in the video with his children, I'm sure Andrea is around, and I'm sure she knew Andrea. And if the girl come around, supposed to be the goddaughter, coming around and she was still around, I'm sure they all knew about each other. But everybody want to act like look, that's his daughter. That's still her, little Joanne, while he getting his hair braided with his boxers on, giving the hood feel. Look at her. That's her Samo. He's sitting between her legs as she braided his hair. She a victim. They go to neighborhood. There she go again. And she want to say she didn't know about that young girl. She got immunity. The hypocrisy. If they walk, he should walk. The fuck? Look at that. That's her braiding her hair, his hair. All through the video, she braiding hair. Look with her diamond necklace and all that shit he done bought her. You know she ain't had no money for that. And he threw away all the stuff, the material shit. His wife, all of them knew. You think that she just slept with her when she was grown? You misinformed. Use your common sense. Y'all been had out there. This man, y'all been had. She knew. They all knew each other. They all been sleeping together. Sparkle, all of them was having menage. Them probably the menage a trois. They all got mad. They mad at the supporters because we feel like shit. Nobody should go to damn jail. All of them some goddamn freaks. Y'all want another one? Let me show you. See how they be lying. Okay? So that's the victim supposed to be number one. And she the one who got kicked out the courthouse back in 2008 for perjury. That's why she got immunity. All them got immunity is a key. That's questionable. That ain't right. That ain't right. You ain't get lesser sentence or the better deal. You just got full immunity. Nah, that ain't right there. And we supposed to be talking about kids and violation of them. Nah, that ain't that something wrong with that. Something wrong with that picture. Okay, we can't be selective on what we want to support and what we want to believe. Okay? Right? So, let's see if we can find something else. You know I be dissecting shit. I'm going to try to dissect this one. Hold on. Because I'm going to try to dissect this one. Because I found some stuff that I never was going to say, but I think that is, I thought that was right here in the red dress. I thought that was, who I thought that was? Asante. She looked like her. I think that is her. I think that is Asante. I'm not for sure. But if you look at the old videos before all this shit happened, see, I think that could have been this girl right here in that video because of the facial features. See, the facial features. Wait a minute. I can't even show it like I want to. It started getting blurry. Now, this Benzino's wife. Remember Benzino from Source Magazine? This his wife. They divorced now, but you know, she been through the hood. See, that's her. Y'all see her in the small box? Is a little better. That could have been her. That could have been Benzino's wife because she was thin. And this is around the time that shit was happening. And she was all between his legs in this video. I'm going to try to show it. Let me see if I can find it. That's her. I believe that's her. She was all in between his legs, and the features are so similar to what's on that video. Because to be honest with you, shit, being the superstar Kel got so many bodies, he probably don't know who the fuck that was. Althea. Yeah, I always thought it was Althea. Yeah, she was a model then. She was a model. She was a model then. She was. That could have been her, because if you really look at it, that could have been. And that was around the time that you know what I'm saying? Because the guy from public announcement, is it public announcement? The guy from public announcement said that the girl was running around the house playing with the kids. Now, as a mother, I don't know. And this is the sick shit that people don't want to talk about. As a mother, how could you want to sleep with someone that played with your babies? How could you even look at them like that, even if they illegal? Like, you used to run around here with your little diapers on playing with my babies. Why? I'm not looking at you like that. It would be even a disrespect for you to even think it or come on to me or or even having a conversation like that. We're not going to be there because you still calling me Mrs. Kelly or auntie or mama or whatever you calling me, godmommy or whatever. How we get from you playing with my kids to we fucking? And y'all ain't even asking that question when it comes to these women. The hypocrisy in this shit. Y'all some fake ass goddamn victim supporters. And these are fake ass goddamn people out here telling you bullshit to go along with the mainstream narrative because it feeding them. It's bullshit altogether. Altogether. 97. She was running around here playing with the kids. She was playing with the damn kids. Well, how the hell? I ain't never attracted to nobody who kids I was playing with. Shit. I'm thinking you like my mama and daddy them age. I ain't attracted to you. When I get of age, I'm not attracted to you. We just want to get the men, but we find out these women are just as more goddamn nasty than any of these men can be. Look at Jada. Fucking her son's friend. And then the girl on the stand talking about she slept with Andrea too. And y'all just want to get R. Kelly. If they walk, he walk, damn it. That's just how that shit go today. And we go stand by that today as black people, damn it. Shit. Either lock them all up or let them all go, Sophia. On fire. Sophia on fire, where you been? You right. Lock them all up or let them all walk. Shit. Be there. I ain't finna sit up there and let these goddamn parents get off. I'm gonna keep blogging about their asses until somebody do something. Somebody go do something, you keep making enough noise. That's right. If they walk, if they walk, he should walk. Shit. Ain't no goddamn he just get him or just get them. No. No. And you took money and all kind of shit. Then people say, well, he paid him out. That mean he guilty. He paid him out. That mean they accept the money. Shit. How you gonna accept money and then you want a conviction? But when you say Daryl McDavid paid all these people off and that's the crime, there ain't no crime to me. That's a settlement. You took the civil route. I'm not going to press charges against you, but I want you to pay me for my damn problems I had. And you settled for this. Like Bill Cosby accused. Like, how y'all don't be knowing the laws on shit. Everybody don't have to take the criminal route when it comes to sexual assault. You know that, right? That's why they allowed them to sue. You don't have to take the criminal route. You could just say, I want to sue. You could just say, I want to sue. And they wanted money. Why would he want to pay and end up paying millions of dollars anyway? Because they helping them violate. Because any other time it's a binding contract with everybody else except for R. Kelly. They want to make that a crime. And when y'all out here spitting that shit out your mouth. The injustice in all this. It's injustice. It's definitely injustice. He done bought them cars, new titties. Y'all better get on out of here and get some new goddamn, some real goddamn victims. Y'all need some real victims. These ain't it. These ain't no real ass victims. These some victims for profit. And y'all need to let that shit go. So, Jane, I'm sorry that we had to meet under those unfortunate circumstances where you felt the need to kick me off your channel. I'm used to it by now. Ask the lead attorney. He did it first. And because of that, I'm not going on nobody else's shit. Because they can't deal with spitting fire at all. They cannot deal with me at all. And so, now that you know that I do know my shit, and it is what it is, under these circumstances, I wish we would have met under better circumstances, but I know that I could be too much for people. So the only way that I will go on somebody else's platform, they have to come, I have to feel the waters and test it out. I'm not taking, this is it. This is the last time, because y'all asses don't know how to handle the dragon. Y'all don't know how to handle the dragon. Y'all get mad and get in your feelings and you say shit and then I can come back and you don't like it. All that shit. But now you know who I am on these internet streets. And now your people know who the hell I am. And if you don't know who I am, I'm the dragon. This is Spitting Fire. Fire out.